Hey guys, this is Ms. Carrillo. Today we're going to be working out a solve problem. So solve is study the problem, organize and make a plan, launch a plan, verify the solution, and extend the problem. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. This is the problem that we're going to be working out today. It says, Farmer Kendra had 18 apple trees. 12 of the trees grew red apples. The rest of the trees grew green apples. How many of the trees grew green apples? Okay, so we're going to use this word problem and we're going to take each step in order to get our answer, and solve is going to help us. So we're going to start off with S, study the problem, okay? So I'm going to read the problem one more time so that we can visualize the situation. We're going to restate the problem in our own words. We're going to restate the question and write a solution statement. And then we're going to identify the known and unknown information. So it says, Farmer Kendra had 18 apple trees. 12 of the trees grew red apples. The rest of the trees grew green apples. How many of the trees grew green apples? Okay, so there are a couple of things that we know, and there are a couple of things that we don't know. Okay, so we're going to start with the things that we know. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay. So the first thing we know is that there is a total of 18 apple trees. Okay. The next thing we know is that 12 apple trees are red. And then we also know that the rest are green. Okay? So those are the things that we know. Now we're going to talk about the things that we don't know, okay? So let's read the question one more time. Farmer Kendra had 18 apple trees. 12 of the trees grew red. The rest of the trees grew green. How many of the trees grew green? Okay, so what are the things that we don't know? So the things that we don't know, let's see. This is our unknown. So we already did our known. These are the things that we know, and these are the things that we don't know. So we don't know how many trees are green. Okay? Okay, so we don't know how many trees are green. Now we're going to restate the question so that we can use it as a sentence stem so that when we find our answer, we know how to answer the question in a complete sentence. So the question says, how many of the trees grew green apples? Okay, so now we're going to write that down. Okay. So blank, we're going to start off with the blank because we don't know how many. Blank number, so this is going to be the number that we don't know, of trees grew green apples. Period. So we're going to start our answer with however much we know of trees grew green apples. Okay, so that's going to be our sentence stem to answer the question. Okay, so this is the first step of solve. Okay, now that we know the things that we know, the things that we don't know, and we have our sentence stems, we can go on to step number 2. So step number 2 is organize and make a plan. Okay, we can draw a model to represent the situation. We're going to write a situation equation, and then we're going to think of a plan or a strategy to solve our problem. Okay, so let's read the question one more time. Farmer Kendra had 18 apple trees. 12 of the trees grew green apples. The rest of the trees grew green apples. 12 of the trees grew red apples. The rest of the trees grew green apples. How many of the trees grew green apples? Okay. Okay, so we're going to draw a strip diagram here. Okay, so we're gonna put our total here. Is 18, and then these are the ones that are red. And we know that those are 12, and then these are the ones that are green, and we don't know how much that is yet. So we're going to put a question mark, okay? All right, so now we're going to also draw a picture. So let's draw a picture. Let's see. So we're going to draw 18. That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so we have 18. Then we know that 12 of them are red, so I'm going to color these red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So those 12 are red, and that means the rest have to be green, okay? Okay. So now we are going to write our situation equation. So our situation equation is we started with 18, and we're going to need to take away 12 to get the number of green, okay? All right. So this is us organizing our information. Let's go to the next step. Now we have to launch the plan, okay? So we're going to go ahead and read the problem one more time. It says, Farmer Kendra had 18 apple trees. 12 of the trees grew red apples. The rest of the trees grew green apples. How many of the trees grew green apples? Okay, so we already have our situation equation here. Okay. And then we can estimate. So 18 is close to 20, and 12 is close to 10. So we know that our answer is going to be close to 10. Okay. Now we're going to use a number line. Okay. So okay. So here we have a number line. I'm going to need to make it a little bit longer, sorry. Okay, so we're actually going to start our number line here at 18. And then we're going to go back, we're going to jump back 12 pieces, 12 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we jump back 12 times, and we actually land at 6, okay? So now we have to verify our solution, and so we're going to do that by doing our fact families. Okay, so we started off with our situation equation, which was 18 minus 12 equals to something. And so we know that now it's 6, so I guess I should write 6. Okay, So now we're going to write the rest of our fact family. So remember, we start off with the total, 18 minus 6 is equal to 12. And then this is how we're going to verify our solution. So we know that if we add 6 plus 12, we should also get 18. Or we can add 12 plus 6, and we should also get 18. Okay? So this verifies our solution. Okay? And now the last thing that we need to do is write our sentence answering the question. So it says, how many of the trees grew green apples? So we can again use the number sentence that we had at the beginning and say, whoops, okay, so 6 of the trees grew green apples. Period. Okay? And then the last step, which is optional, is to extend the problem. And so we can either solve the problem in a different way, create another problem that is similar to the one that we have, or create a more rigorous problem. Okay? So, for example, I'm going to say, let's say that we add the farmer Kendra, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, so let's say we add farmer Kendra had 18 apple trees. Twelve were red. And the rest were green. Two of the green died. How many green are left? Okay, so this would be an extension to the problem that we had, okay? So see how we wrote, the problem is very, very similar. We still have 18 apple trees. We still know that 12 of them are red, but now something happened to some of those greens. So we have to do an extra step, okay? So that's why the extend problem is optional. So your teacher will probably tell you whether you need to do it or not. Okay? I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching. See you later.